Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Out of the Ordinary. I'm your host, Mikey. Today I got a special guest coming on, and here she is. Take it away, Liz.
Hi.
So tonight's topic, we'll be talking about some random, spooky things, in light of urban legends, in light of the spooky season, Halloween and stuff. So yeah, let's take a dive in.
Hold on. Hi, Stephen P. Kitty Cat.
Yes. Steven, what's up? Cosmo.
Hey, Cosmo, what's up? Hey.
Welcome to Out of the Ordinary.
Awesome. Great to see you.
One more thing. I'm in my new place now.
Woo!
So yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, that's why I haven't been on. I missed you guys. And now, if you notice that I'm on Tuesdays now, because I did want to change my schedule to Tuesdays. So here we are.
We had the opening.
Thank you.
So, do you want to talk about some of the less creepy ones, or do you want to dive right into the elevator game?
No, you know what? I think let's give the viewer let's take the viewers deeper and deeper down. Let's start with the top first.
Then we got Bloody Mary. So, the one surviving child of Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon ruled over England between 1553 and 1558. But history confirms that Mary I was already vexed when she took the throne because of some pesky Protestants managed to instate her cousin, Lady Jane Grey, as queen before Mary forcibly took the crown. Her first execution order was for the Lord of Northumberland for his role in the attempted coup. Mary didn't stop with him, though. She executed 300 Protestants over the course of her reign, earning her the moniker of Bloody Mary. But how did her story evolve into a modern-day urban legend that you utter her name 3 times in front of a mirror to summon her? The legend may not be linked to the Queen of England at all, but a witch who met her end during the Salem witch trials in the late 17th century. A variation of the story includes summoning the victim, Mary Worth, but there was no such name on the roster for Salem, like for the witches that were killed. So, who is it? I mean, and I got Bloody Mary. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Bloody Mary right here.
I mean, pretty hot, man. I wouldn't mind summoning someone like that.
Right? Would you be really that angry? By the way, Cosmo says, congratulations!
Yes, thank you.
I mean, would you be really upset if you summoned that?
Not really. I mean, hell, shit. I mean, give me the both. I mean, I'll take the girl and the drink.
Woo!
Have a party here.
I mean, hey, it has bacon.
Hey, we don't have that down here in the valley.
Really?
I've never had anybody, put bacon in a Bloody Mary.
Ours has lots of bacon. Love the bacon.
Bacon is life.
All right. So, which one do you want to get into next?
What else is there?
The razor blade.
Okay, yeah. That's a very interesting one because it has happened in many places. It's
So there,
happened here before. I think when I was young, when I was little, I had heard on the news that somebody was putting drugs in the candies and stuff.
well, this one is supposed to be the razor blade in there,
Mm.
but there is actually with the poison in the candy.
Yeah.
Um, there was one that we will talk about a little bit more on Friday. Well, actually, we won't. I mean, Hexus and Akaw will. But his name was Ronald O'Brien. He killed his son by poisoning his candy on Halloween.
That's brutal, man.
Right? What kind of asshole does that?
Apparently, Ronald O'Brien.
Yep. And then William Lisk killed his entire family on Halloween. But that I don't think had to do with poisoning anything. I think he just killed them all. But okay, let me get rid of that again. So let's go into the razor blade in the apple. First off, who gives out apples? First,
Hell if I
Cosmo.
know.
Bloody Mary sounds terrifying, creepy, but she must be cute. Bloody Mary, no more likely to kill you than any other date on Tinder.
Hey, he does got a point there.
Yes. So, my question on here is one, who gives out apples anymore?
I don't know the way the world's going right now. It wouldn't pass me by.
I mean, I'm going to give out caramel apple lollipops. But,
I mean, I'll chuck an apple to someone. Here's your freaking apple.
well, you're not wearing a costume? No, just joking. I don't care if you're not wearing a costume. If you come up and trick or treat, I'm going to give you candy.
Get off my lawn.
So, bobbing for apples for Halloween is a tradition. It's actually a Celtic based tradition.
Mm-hmm.
The game was initially a romantic party game, actually, where folks threw a marked apple into the tub of water and hoped their true love would successfully grab it using only their teeth. Sounds kinky. So the writer W.H. Davenport Adams added a twist in 1902. The apple skin was then peeled into a long strip which shaped the initial of the true love upon falling to the ground. So that was another added thing to it.
I remember playing a game back in elementary where you would twist the stem of the apple, and you would have to say the ABCs or something like that, and whatever thing you fell on, that who's your true love or something like that.
Yes, I love candy apple too, Cosmo.
You know what, Cosmo? We have candy apples here, but they're full of chamoy and Lucas.
Stephen P. Kitty Cat. Bobbing for apples, the Celtic twist on a 70s key party. Oh, so you get the name of somebody on the apple and you gotta go swing? So,
Natalie!
Natalie! What's up? So, let's see here. I lost my spot. So, apple bobbers in general are lucky to grab the apple at all just because, the skin's pretty tough. Especially if some maniac has slid a razor blade inside to the fruit. Actually, that sounds like you're gonna catch it easier. It might hurt, but you're gonna catch it a lot easier.
I don't know. The thought of a razor blade in an apple actually does make me cringe. And I'm not that easy to make cringe.
Oof, God. The picture I didn't put on here was the razor blade in somebody's mouth.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did that on purpose, but there you go. There's the razor blade in the apple. We're having fun with this, guys. So, 4 pounds flour claims that the old razor blade in an apple story stems from a 1960s rumor that 20 apples in New Jersey were found to contain razor blades. The story was a hoax. Um, Scholars Joel Best and Gerald T. Horucci elaborated on the paper, The Razor Blade in the Apple, the Social Construction of Urban Legends. So, a far more scary would be, the germs from thrusting your face into water that's already filled with saliva from other people that have thrusted their face into the water. But, that's just me thinking that.
No, I understand that. I truly understand that. I've had places. When I used to go trick or treating, there's been places that I've gone. They're like, you need to bob your head for an apple in order to get candy. I'm like, screw you guys, man. I'm not gonna do that. It's freaking
Especially
dirty.
with the Rona right now.
Yeah, especially with the Rona right now. I ain't gonna be doing that shit.
Cosmo says he wouldn't want any blades in his candy. So it is an urban legend, except for there are people that poison the candies and the apples.
That's why they came up with the whole thing of check your candy before you eat.
Mm-hmm. And that again would be because of what was his name? O'Brien?
Yeah.
That would be because of him. Again, his name was Ronald O'Brien. He poisoned his son's candy on Halloween. They're germ factory. Kids don't count. They're germ factories anyway. Yeah, but still. Do you really want to do that? Blech.
I wouldn't.
Stephen P. Kitty Cat says, the movie Tales of Halloween, cranky old man puts razor blades in apples for the trick-or-treaters. His wife, not knowing, uses some of the apples to make him an apple pie. He eats the pie, not knowing she used the tainted apples.
Ouch. Talk about karma.
Natalie, that's horrid. Yeah, it is. Cosmo. Damn you, Ronald O'Brien. Agreed. So what's our next one?
Let's see.
Do you want to do one of yours?
Yeah. We'll do one of mine here. Okay.
Because next we have one that I covered sometime this year.
All right. So, aside from, all the whole razor blades and apples and stuff like that, Bloody Mary, here's a little one that's quite scary. It's about in the middle, I'm going to say. It's called The Midnight Game. Any of y'all ever heard of it? The Midnight Game is a 2013 supernatural okay, they're talking about a film. What the hell? Are you serious?
Well, okay, so what do we know about it already? We know that you have to light the candle.
Yeah.
And if the candle goes out, you need to hurry and get back to where you started, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't get back to where you started, what happens to you?
So, okay, I got something here. Let's see if it's not a reference to a movie now. Sorry, guys. Okay, the Midnight Game is an old pagan ritual used mainly as punishment for those who have broken the laws of pagan religion in question.
Okay.
While it was mainly used as a scare tactic to not disobey the gods, there is still a very existent chance of death to those who play the Midnight Game. There is an even higher chance of permanent mental scarring. It is highly recommended that you don't play the Midnight Game. However, for those few thrill seekers searching for a rush, or those delving into the obscure occult rituals, these are simple instructions on how to play the Midnight Game. Do not try this, please.
Hold on. Let's do this.
I repeat, do not try this at home.
This presentation is for educational purposes only. How you use this information is your responsibility. We will not be held accountable for any illegal activities or your fuck-ups. Sorry.
So,
for fuck's sake.
Instructions to the Midnight Game. And like I said, this is for educational purposes only. I am not truly instructing anybody to do this. You do this at your own risk if you try it. We're not responsible for any possessions, any mental scarring, or anything like that. We have no responsibility. We're not responsible for any of that. Anyhow, it must be exactly 12 a.m. when you begin performing the ritual, otherwise it will not work. You will need a candle, a piece of paper, a writing implement, matches or a lighter, salt, a wooden door, at least one drop of your own blood. If you are playing with multiple people, they will need their own of the aforementioned materials, and they will have to perform the steps below. Step 1, write your full name on a piece of paper. Put at least 2 drops of blood on the paper. Allow it to soak into the paper. Step 2, turn off the lights. And I'm not going to go into it because, yeah.
Because like Stephen P. Kitty Cat said, do not try this thing we're about to tell you how to do.
Yeah, I'm not going to go deep into it either. I seriously don't want anybody trying this crap.
Please do not play the midnight game, and that's a warning. Thank you, Cosmo. Thank you, Stephen P. Kitty Cat.
Anyhow, step 3, knock on the door. Of course, it must be 12 o'clock when you play it, of course. Why would they call it the midnight game? Step 4, light your candle.
Where's my lighter? I was going to follow along.
Dun, 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 dun. Anyhow, immediately relight your candle. This is where the game begins. You must now lurk your now completely dark house with the lit candle in your hand. Your goal is to avoid the Midnight Man at all costs until 3:33 a.m. Now, why would they want you to at 3:33 a.m.? 3:33 a.m. is the witching hour. That's kind of stupid. Like, hell, why would I be up at 3:33 a.m.?
Stephen P. Kitty Cat. We tell you how to start the ritual for free. To learn how to end the ritual, you must subscribe to PBDC TV Premium.
And that you'll get a call from me saying that I'm calling you to inform you about the warranty.
Ma!
Ma! Hey, Ma! Call the cops! It's that dead lady with the coffee again. If you're not successful in doing the midnight game, you must then immediately surround yourself with a circle of salt. If you're unsuccessful in both of your actions, the Midnight Man will create hallucinations of your greatest fear. Ooh.
Good morning!
Hello, lowly humans. We are the bunnies of chaos. And, yes, hello, Mrs. Grossman, too. We now are in full control of your device.
So join us for this special presentation, in that special way that only the bunnies of chaos can do.
Grossman! Ma! That Grossman lady again. She's back.
Everyone's like, oh,
anyhow.
No!
Yeah, I don't know why that lady always comes up, man. She must have some kind of obsession with me or something like that, you know. I don't know. She's been chasing me around ever since that time that that I traveled back in time. There's just one freaking date. I swear.
Texas hasn't fixed it. Texas hasn't fixed that glitch yet.
Nope. Anyhow, Liz, do you have anything to...
Yeah, actually, let's let's do an easy one again. And then I have a really creepy one.
Ooh.
So, I have 2 really fast ones, I guess. So you guys know, sometime in the middle of the year, I talked a little bit about Stingy Jack. Because you know what? It's Halloween year round here. And Stingy Jack...
How stingy is he?
He's extremely stingy. He is said to actually be the reason why we have jack-o'-lanterns. One of the things that happened was he tricked the devil twice.
Huh.
He tricked the devil, and that's how he got the coin.
So Stingy Jack is kind of like what's his name from The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Well, basically, he was an Irish blacksmith that invited the devil for a drink, and he wasn't willing to pay for the cocktails, so he convinced the devil to turn himself into a coin to settle the tab.
Ooh.
And then skipped with the money, ran off with it, grabbed it. Later, he let the devil turn back into himself on a promise that he wouldn't claim Jack's soul when the cheapskate died. When the two crossed paths again, Jack talked to the devil and talked him into climbing up a tree and carved a cross in the trunk so he couldn't get down. For the second time, Jack let the devil free on the promise that he wouldn't go to hell. But when Jack died, heaven wouldn't take him.
Huh.
The devil kept his promise and wouldn't take Jack. So, he now has to live in his own hell. And he actually walks the earth.
So basically, he's doomed to purgatory.
Yeah, he did it to himself.
Well, at least he's not being tortured by the devil.
Right? Well, he kind of is, because there's also what he did was he didn't give him a way to see. That's why he has that little lantern. He actually gave him a turnip. A turnip to light his way, but he cannot die, which in itself is actually a curse. And the next one would be the Bunny Man. That's from the movie.
Yikes.
The Bunny Man. And I know Stephen P. Kitty Cat might have a little something to say about the Bunny Man. Although, mostly that it sucked. But, we're Psycho Bunny Death Cult, and of course we're going to talk about the Bunny Man.
Oh, yeah.
So, there once was a crazy man in a bunny suit. He was on a bus from an insane asylum that crashed. The man escaped and ate rabbits, which he then hung from what became known as the Bunny Bridge, before turning to gnaw on little children. Although this story originated in Virginia, there was the legend spread successfully across the country because of the film from 2011. And basically it was this nutbag that started eating people, anybody that he came across, and the Bunny Bridge, if you stand on the Bunny Bridge at midnight on Halloween and utter Bunny Man 3 times, the maniac spirit will come out and he will slash your throat and hang you off the bridge. Doesn't that sound like fun? There are several variations to the Bunny Man urban legend. Matt Blitz, who's a writer, said some tales date back to 1904, but a Virginia historian, Brian Conley, discredited that and other legends in his paper about the Bunny Man. Conley's research spanned from 1872 to 1973, yielding over 550 individual mentions of the Bunny Man, but nothing fact-worthy, except for a couple of 1970 sightings wherein a guy in a bunny suit whacked at a car and a private home with an axe. It just sounded really funny. Nobody was hurt. So, does the Bunny Man really exist? Do you guys want to go to the Bunny Bridge and find out?
The Bunny Man, the Goat Man.
Cosmo says, I remember that terrifying, creepy bunny. Stephen P. Kitty Cat says, I live near Bunny Man Bridge. I have video.
Wow.
I must see this.
You must show us the videos, Mr.
I will not be doing that for Halloween. Yeah, neither will I. All right, so do you want to go into the really creepy one? Or do you want to go to commercial first?
Let's go to commercial first.
All right, so let's find the commercial. Usually I should have it like right here. We'll be back.
This is Mikey from Out of the Ordinary, and you're watching PBDC TV.
thing in the morning, when I'm listening to music and getting a little bit of time for some creepy research, I'm always representing with my PBDC merch. What a better way to have a cup of coffee in the morning.
Don't forget to check out our other cool merch at rootsbleedred.com. That's rootsbleedred.com.
This is Professor Edgar Fluffosaurus from Spooky Tales with Steve the Cat, and when I'm not hosting Monster Chat or knocking down small Japanese cities, I'm watching PBDC TV. Now back to the show.
Hey, Frank's in the house.
Frank!
Oh, who the fuck is this? A car person? All right. So, yes, there we go. So, yes, please, guys, like, follow, share, smash that bell. Also, go to psychobunnydc.com and enter our costume contest.
Yes.
We are running the costume contest through the rest of the week, and we will be starting the actual voting next week.
So get your entries in now.
Do it. Do it now.
Do it. Do it. Do it now. Go to the website now and do it.
So we're going to talk about a game that you should never play. So let's do this again, guys. Trigger warning. Also, warning, the related content may be disturbing for some individuals. Viewer discretion is advised. Here we go. We are going to talk about the elevator game. So, here's we go. Some believe that the elevator game could send them into another dimension. Basically, here you go. How to play the elevator game, even though you probably shouldn't. I'm getting a lot of this information from Ranker, by the way. So, first, the player must choose a building that has at least 10 accessible floors and locate an elevator that can be used without anyone else trying to get in the elevator at the same time. The player will then enter the elevator from the first floor, but must absolutely be completely alone.
Yes.
Once in the elevator, the player must visit each of the following floors in this exact order, pressing the next button just after arriving at each one. So it goes 4, 2, 6, 2, 10, 5, 1. Upon pressing the button to once again return to the first floor, if the elevator begins to move up instead of down, then the ritual has been successful, and the next floor that you will arrive on will be a portal into another dimension. However, if the elevator obeys and begins descending to the first floor, the player must exit the elevator and the building as quickly as possible and not for any reason look back. So, why do you think they shouldn't look back if it wasn't successful?
I don't know. Some of that shit boggles my mind, man, because I mean, it is pretty freaking weird.
So, here we go. So, at a certain point, a woman may actually may enter the elevator with you, and this will be on the 5th floor. Do not acknowledge her. When playing the elevator game, there's a good chance a woman will try to enter the elevator when the doors open on the 5th floor. If this happens, the player should not look at, speak to, or otherwise even acknowledge the woman. People who reportedly spoke to or glanced at the woman said she became quickly hostile, with one player taunted so aggressively that they attacked the woman. Another player began dreaming about the woman, with her getting progressively closer and closer to him in every dream each night. Only one player has claimed that the woman assisted them in remembering how to get home, although, allegedly, she now continues to haunt them to this day. Players who make it to the other dimension will meet a red cross and darkness. So, if the ritual carries out properly, the 10th floor should have a cast of darkness with like a faint red glow. And some players report that there is a red glow that comes from like a cross, but you try to go towards it, it's always in the distance. You can never get close enough to see it clearly, supposedly. Some people report that there's only just a red glow. They don't really see a cross. However, nearly all players describe how they are completely alone in this other dimension with the woman from the 5th floor, if she even enters the elevator, refusing to explore it with them. Some also say that the air becomes so dark that it's and heavy that it is suffocating. So Stephen P. Kitty Cat says, "Don't look back because the evil spirits are letting you go. Don't give them a reason to change their minds."
So maybe the air got heavy, maybe because somebody cut the cheese in the elevator.
They're all. That's why she won't come out of the elevator.
Man, give her a few minutes with me after eating Taco Bell. Maybe she won't. She'll go running out of that damn elevator.
She's all, sorry guys. No, I'm good. I'll wait
Ay,
for you
perdón,
here.
vieja. I had too much Taco Bell.
So many things can go wrong in the other dimension. Players who choose to exit the elevator at the 10th floor believe walking in a straight line makes it easier to return to the correct elevator door to go home, but some sources say that this isn't the case. Many people brave enough to exit the elevator have reported how the closer they walk back to the elevators, the further they seem to get, while others claim that the air becomes unbearably thick, causing them to become disoriented and have trouble discerning similar elevator doors. Now, this is where things get a little dicey, because apparently if you faint while playing the game, you find yourself waking up back home, except for it's not your home. Well, it is, but it isn't. Like, you are in another dimension. So one player thought she made it home before passing out, but then realized she woke up in another world. Another passed out after leaving the building and woke up in his home. Unfortunately, at this time, there are no resources revealing what to do if this happens. So basically, it's kind of like one of those things where you end up in an alternate reality. And everything has just changed on you. Where it's the same, but it's not the same.
Dang.
So, when returning to the real world, you have to be careful. If everything goes smoothly and the elevator travels to the 10th floor instead of the first floor after the last button, then the player has successfully made it to another dimension. Here, the player may choose to either exit the elevator and venture out into this new dimension, or remain inside and immediately return to the first floor in the real world. Choosing to remain in the elevator only requires re-pushing the button for the first floor until the elevator finally responds, then exiting at the level ground as soon as the doors open and never looking back. But if the player chooses to leave the elevator and explore the unknown dimension, then they must remember how to get back to the exact elevator to leave. The player will then press the buttons in the same order that were originally used to reach the dimension. After pushing the first floor button for the final time, the elevator will attempt to return to the 10th floor. So the player has to repeatedly press the button until it decides to return back to ground level.
You want to know something, honestly?
Hey, Kisa!
Oh, hey, Kisa. Honestly, the elevator game sounds like too much work. Like, why the hell would someone really want to take the time and freaking play something like that? Like, God, you must not have a life in order to play that shit.
If we figure out how to get you home, we'll offer that information on PBDC TV Premium for an introductory rate of $12.99 per month.
Operators are standing by.
Go to psychobunnydc.com for more information. Sounds like The Mist. Kind of. Oh, let me get back over there real fast. So here is where this ties into something more recent and an actual disappearance. There is a theory that Elisa Lam may have played the game before disappearing. So if you guys don't know who Elisa Lam was, she was a Canadian woman who had decided that she was going to travel. She was bipolar, but apparently that actually had very little to do with everything going on. But they like to try to bring that into the
Cause of death and
theories.
stuff.
Yeah, the cause of death. Which I gotta say, how did she get in there and the door close? But it,
Especially on the video, how she's, she's like moving her hands around and everything like that. It's like,
yeah.
what was she seeing in her eyes? Like that's the
Oh
thing that
yeah.
I wonder is what was she seeing?
So basically, she was at the Cecil, and those of us here in California know that the Cecil is just not a good
Bonkers.
It is right smack dab in the middle of
Skid Row.
And it is not, it's just not somewhere you want to be at all. So there is, the last camera footage of her shows her riding an elevator erratically. Authorities later found her naked and drowned in a water tank on the top of the roof of the same hotel. The way they figured that out is because the water was getting sludgy and black. People were drinking it and showering in it.
That's why I look at my water when I get a glass of water from the faucet. I always look at my water because I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna sit there and just go.
Yes, the documentary about her on Netflix is fantastic, by the way. Kisa, ew! Cosmo, especially if you're playing at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I wouldn't wake up at 3 a.m. just to go play some stupid elevator game.
Fuck that.
Too much work.
I'm all, no, wait. So it was 6, 2, 4, 2, 10, what? I don't even think I had that in the right order.
We'd be having squirrel moments on the elevator.
10, 5, 1,
squirrel.
What? Well, okay, let me just find my phone again. How am I going to do this? So,
where's the lady? I want to know how to play this game.
Right. Hey, can you help me? The mystery surrounding her death remains unsolved, but several theories have gained popularity on the internet. Amateur sleuths observed her suspicious security footage, which the LAPD released. But if you actually watch it, it's been tampered with. The one theory entails Lamb attempting to play the elevator game. The released security footage showed her standing nervously on an elevator and pressing a lot of different floor buttons. The floors refused to close, and Lamb appeared to glance in the hall as if someone were coming, and then talked to somebody off screen. Bolstering the supernatural theory is the fact that the water tank where she died was allegedly difficult to access, but somehow Lamb managed to enter and drown in the tank, and also take her clothes off.
Yeah, one doesn't just go and do that.
Well, you can't close it from the inside once you're in there.
Yep.
So, players can become trapped in the other dimension. Oh, hold on one second, guys. Let me do one thing. You guys better see this. It's like some kind of Silent Hill shit. So, players can be trapped in the other dimension. If a player decides to explore the 10th floor, they must stay mindful of how far and in which direction they venture. If they attempt to return to their world by accidentally using the wrong elevator, they may think they're home while still being in another dimension. Things may seem familiar or normal, but players would slowly start to notice small things that hint something isn't right. For instance, foods may smell wrong, like popcorn smelling more like meat. Or things may appear inexplicably strange. Sounds may become confusing, like a bird chirping really weirdly. These things also suggest a player might not have returned home after all. Players report waking up and dreaming about this other world afterwards. So one player who chose to remain anonymous accidentally looked right at the woman when she got on the floor on the elevator at the 5th floor. After the woman goaded the player into attacking her, oh, so it's that same girl, the elevator eventually released the player on the 1st floor. But after returning home and going to sleep, the player began having recurring dreams of being back in the elevator. She had a dream each night of being in the other world, able to use the elevator for the first night, but only the arduous stairs every night after that. She fears being trapped there, but there's no way to know what happened to her. Another believed that they made it home but woke up in the 10th floor hallway the next morning.
Oh, wow.
So, an unknown entity has followed people home. One player claimed the woman who entered the elevator on the 5th floor followed him home and banged on his window at night, laughing at him. Another dreamed that they were back in their other dimension every night and noticed the woman watching them while they went out during the day. Many have felt the presence behind them following them long after they finished the game. Another player thought that the ritual had failed until they saw bloody footprints showing that something had followed him out of the elevator. Comments here. Oh my god, there's comments. Sykes, what's up?
Hey.
Silent Hill, The Shining. Yep. The Shining. Yep.
Won't awake the Shining.
It's the dark floors. Yeah. Hey, Susan, how are you? Thank you so much for sharing.
Yes, thank you.
So the last part of this, here you go. This is where I was like, So it said that people could never get close to the cross earlier, but players report seeing dismembered bodies and corpses afterwards. So one player named Alex reportedly saw the woman get on the elevator with him at the 5th floor, but he accidentally looked at her before stumbling out of the elevator on the 10th floor. When searching for the purported red cross in the distance, he saw numerous crosses, all with people being crucified and burnt on them. When the elevator returned to take him home, it was full of burned corpses. Another player, Sammy, only saw the woman's feet and dress, but after arriving at the 10th floor, he saw body parts covering the red cross. That was that.
Now I have a question. The woman that enters the elevator, is that Odd Mother?
It's Odd Mother going.
Because if it's Odd Mother, I'd be like, hey!
Join Psycho Bunny Death Cult, guys. Oh, I mean, she is 447 years old, or 147 years old. We don't know anymore. Once you hit a certain point, you stop counting.
Odd Mother is eternal.
So, what's the next one that we have on our list? Ooh, you had another one.
Yeah.
Do that one.
Wait, I did have another one?
Yeah, I thought you had another one.
I do have one here. I found one.
Do it.
While we were talking about the Elisa Lam and stuff, I did find one. So here's one called Three Kings, which is Bloody Mary to the extreme, supposedly.
Odd Mama would say, enter the weird.
The Three Kings, the mirror game to end all mirror scary games. It became a sensation online with Reddit users sharing stories about their experiences. And by the way, I'm getting this from Best Life.
Nice.
So, the rules are extremely specific and cannot be done out of order with anything less to a T precision. You begin with a large empty room, ideally without windows, starting at just before midnight. Put a chair that's the king's throne in the center of the room, facing north, and two other chairs, the queen and the joker's chair, respectively facing the king's throne. Then place two large mirrors on both the queen and the joker's chair, facing each other, and you finally plant a fan pointed behind the throne and have it blow a gentle breeze. The ritual begins at exactly 3:33 a.m. What is up with mirror games in 3:33 a.m.? Seriously.
I do not know.
It's another thing that says 3:33 a.m. With you sitting on the throne while holding the candle, do not look directly into the mirror. But in your peripheral vision, you should see, well, something. As one Reddit user reported, I started hearing things around the room, breathing, ticking, and a knock here and there, he said. I felt like the one on my left was trying to lure me from the chair. It wanted to show me things. Try this on your own risk, but if you're up for a seriously freaky evening, this will do the job. So yeah, that's Bloody Mary to the extreme there.
By the way, Sykes, while you were reading, Sykes was all Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. I'm all. So,
Oh, jeez.
I've got another one because we were laughing our asses off earlier at the Wega board.
The Ouija board.
The Luigi board.
The reggae board.
The quiche board. The Wega Wawa board. If you guys haven't seen that video, it's worth it.
The Luigi board.
The guy's name is JT Sex Kick. I'm not joking, it's really his name. All right, so back in the 1890s, spiritualism was a highly popular pastime. Mediums, psychics, seers dispensed advice like candy. In 1891, according to the Smithsonian Magazine, Kinnard Novelty Company capitalized on spiritualism by offering the Ouija board, the wonderful talking board, which could actually be used to summon the dead. And today, certain psychologists actually believe it can work. Although Parker Brothers eventually got the rights and made it into a game, Halladapi says thousands of stories out there about the mysterious board. Even 1973's film The Exorcist is said to be based on the true tale of a boy who played with the Ouija board. Demonic spirits are sometimes associated with the Ouija board, according to the Guide Liverpool, especially if you fool around and ask the wrong questions. Stories of possession, feelings of paralysis, night terrors, and a plethora of other bad things are rife with the Ouija board lore. People keep in mind, too, that Baltimore Magazine claims that Kinnard Novelty Company Incorporated, the day before Halloween, that the owner of the company was an undertaker. Also, the woman who named the board after a locket around her neck, Helen Peters, was able to convince the United States Patent Office authorities that the board delivered as promised. Even the University of British Columbia claims it works using the subconscious to be careful what you wish for. So that being said, we're going to talk about Zozo.
So, I want to know. Kids aren't old enough to drive or anything like that, but yet they're old enough to summon demons.
Right?
Like, what the hell were you thinking, Parker Brothers?
Right? So that's terrifying. Keep your board. Screw that. Okay, it'll be fun. So
Kisa, we'll make a board and we'll name it after you. We'll call it the Kisa board.
Yes. Zozo, otherwise known as the Ouija board demon, is the demon allegedly summoned through the use of the Ouija board and other forms of spiritual communication like seances. So he is basically the symbol that made people fear and object the occult. The backstory is that Zozo is a fallen angel banished from heaven eons ago by God. He is rumored to have been the demon who possessed Roland Doe when the boy used the Ouija board. Zozo and the possession were written about in The Exorcist. But in The Exorcist, they claimed it was Pazuzu, who was also a demon, if you guys want to look that up. And Pazuzu comes from Babylonian culture. Zozo is often said to mimic the voices of the dead who the user of the Ouija board wishes to talk to. He's cruel, sadistic, and likes preying on people's insecurities and fears. He often delights in telling them that they will die soon. And he's also brutally misogynistic. He loves to pretend he's other spirits, oftentimes pretending he's 3 different spirits at once. He can play psychics, basically. For instance, if a psychic is adamant that there are only 2 ghosts in the building, Zozo will confuse them by claiming that there are 9 ghosts instead. He will also add confusing scenarios by stating he's a little boy ghost and that he's afraid of a malevolent spirit haunting the place. Zozo loves watching his victims squirm with confusion, and oftentimes he takes pleasure when one gullible human believes his lies. Zozo is very sadistic and loves watching friends fall out over his lies. He is a master deceiver, which is not surprising as the devil is claimed to be the father of all lies. That's something I didn't add in there. So Zozo is a powerful demon, basically. Possible encounters. 1951, Roland Doe was a young boy who got possessed by Zozo after using the Ouija board. He was eventually exorcised after a violent process, which most exorcisms are extremely violent, and most people don't survive them. So, sorry about that. In 1972, in Los Angeles, a mother named Doris Blither used a Ouija board and found herself haunted by a dark entity which sought her and her family harm. From 1977 to 1979, Enfield poltergeist in Enfield, England, where a family got plagued by a malevolent force. And in 2012, Tombstone, Nevada, a small group of soldiers were off duty and decided to play around with a Ouija board just for fun. They made contact with an alleged spirit who told them that they had died in Tombstone. On the way back, one of the men got possessed and almost killed the others in a car crash before the demon left him, and he regained consciousness. Yeah. So
You know, if I had the name Roland Doe, or I wouldn't blame him for being possessed. Roland Doe.
Right.
What you doing there, Roland Doe?
Roland Doe. Okay, so we got one more here. This guy. Right here.
This guy.
So, basically, the story goes that guy that the arrow's pointing to murdered everybody else in this picture.
Oh. I mean, look at his eyes. I mean, you can tell right there, murderer.
Right? I like how, like, the eyes are all... So, basically, this is 1962. It was the Halloween Massacre. It's a horrifying story about 85 people that were at a party, including a man wearing a black mask. Shortly after the picture was taken with him and the other partygoers, he locked the doors and stabbed everybody with a kitchen knife. 7 people died. The killer was never caught. The FBI recovered the black mask in 1969. But news sources fail to reveal that any such massacre took place. Supposedly, he locked the doors from the inside and then escaped, but the doors were still locked from the inside.
How did he do that?
Yeah.
Very contradicting.
Basically, the people in the photo remain unidentified. The lineup dispels any notion of the story being true, which was also dismissed by Snopes, but who knows how relatable or reliable that is. But it dismisses the story as folklore and reminds everybody that there are so many holes in the tale that it can't possibly be true.
Yeah.
So folks were quite adept at making their own homemade unusual costumes long before supermarket chains thought of manufacturing ready-made costumes. But the story remains so popular that it could make a fun costume today. You know? And then, let's go to the comments. Ronald Pillsbury Doe. Buddy Christ. Soup. Well, there's a thing that said that it had so many holes that it couldn't hold soup. That's what I was looking at. So, is there any more that you want to talk about?
No, actually, that's it.
What about Michael Myers?
Ooh. We have time for that.
What do you think? Do you think Michael Myers was inspired by a real person?
Well, could be that it was. I mean, I wouldn't pass me on that.
Stupid kitty cat. Marvel's first crack at a Venom movie back in the 60s was pretty low budget. I gotta pull that.
Yeah, it does look like a really low budget Venom.
I'd like to talk about your car's extended warranty. So basically, there is this whole story about how Michael Myers was inspired by Stanley Stiers, and he was the victim of abusive alcoholic parents, and he went on a killing spree in 1923. This is not true.
So this wasn't the International Man of Mystery?
No.
Oh, behave.
So, the director, John Carpenter, actually based Michael Myers on Edmund Kemper because he killed his grandparents at the age of 15. Basically, yeah, this was Dread Central that actually reported that John Carpenter said it was based on Edmund Kemper.
Right.
But nobody seems to be able to find real proof of this, even. So, Screen Rant claims that Carpenter once visited a mental institution as part of his college class and indeed encountered a particularly intriguing resident. There was this kid. He must have been 12 or 13. He literally had this look. And this is the look that he was thinking of when he decided to create Michael Myers.
So, the look of, because I kind of get confused on that one because, Michael Myers' mask and stuff like that was from old William Shatner mask or William Shatner face. So I'm like,
well, yeah, but it's creepy with that hair. He's a yeah, baby.
But who knows what Michael Myers is based on? It does sound a lot like Kemper.
Well, yeah, starting to kill as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference really is Kemper's main goal was just to kill his mom.
Yeah. It's loosely based.
Yeah.
It's loosely based, but...
So, I think we're good, but we have one more thing. Guys, costume contest. Go enter.
Do it now.
Hold on. Let's see if I got this on here. There we go. Go to psychobunnydc.com. Enter the costume contest. There's a little bit more information. So the submission started on the 1st. The contest will begin on the 8th. And the winner will be announced on the 22nd. The contest ends on the 21st.
Sykes put a question up here. It says, do you know what the Michael Myers mask was made from?
Probably latex.
No, I don't. Probably from what?
Probably latex. Which
I know there was a documentary on Halloween and stuff, but I forgot what it was made from.
Well, no, the mask was a bust of Shatner. That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Woo. Yep, latex.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, we just said that, Sykes.
Ah.
I was like, the literal material? Latex. So, yeah, thank you for joining us tonight. Mikey, take it away.
This has been Mikey with Out of the Ordinary. Have a great night and see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Sorry.